Hey everyone, ready to jump into the world of software testing. It's changing like crazy, and Gen AI is playing a huge role.
Yeah, it really is.
We're diving deep today into a fascinating article from Katie Nuggets.
Oh, yeah, Katie
If you're
Nuggets.
into data science or AI, you probably know it.
Yeah, definitely a go-to spot for all that.
They have this great article about how Gen AI is totally revolutionizing software testing, and we wanted to talk about it today.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
The software testing market is already changing so fast, right? I mean, you think about all the pressure to build secure software and this whole shift left approach where, they want to integrate testing early in the development process.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big trend.
And Gen AI is landing right in the middle of all this and offering these like game-changing possibilities.
It's really remarkable.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit.
Yeah, let's dive in.
The article talks about automatically generating test cases and scripts.
hmm
I mean,
It's mind-blowing.
yeah, it's practically magic, right? Like
Mhm.
no more manually writing all those tedious tests.
Yeah, right. But it's way more than just saving time.
I can imagine.
It's about making testing so thorough.
Okay.
Gen AI can analyze code and predict potential bugs in a way humans just can't, especially, those edge cases.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah, those rare scenarios that can really cause headaches later on.
Yeah, you don't want to run into those.
It's like having a superpowered detective
Okay.
that can sniff out those sneaky bugs before they cause any real trouble.
So fewer late-night debugging sessions.
Exactly. Yeah, way less of those.
Okay, sign me up for that.
Right.
The article also mentions that Gen AI can actually figure out why bugs happen
Yeah.
by analyzing patterns in all sorts of data, like crash logs, error reports.
It's crazy, right?
It is.
It's mind-blowing. Think about how long it can take, a team of developers to sift through all that data to try and find the root cause of a bug.
Yeah, that can be a nightmare.
Gen AI can do it so fast and even suggest potential fixes,
Oh, wow.
based on its huge knowledge base.
Okay, so it's learning as it goes.
Right. It's constantly learning and improving.
It's like the software is self-healing.
Yeah, almost like it.
Okay, that's plain cool.
Yeah, right.
We're talking about faster, more comprehensive testing, quicker bug fixes, what's not to love.
It's a win-win.
But how does this impact how software is actually built? Like, from the ground up.
Mhm.
I mean, you've got the business folks who know what the software should do, and then the tech teams who actually have to build it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And sometimes those two worlds don't
Right.
quite see the same thing.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Wow.
Bridging that gap between, the business vision and the technical execution,
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest challenges in software development.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
I've seen projects go completely off the rails because of miscommunication between those two sides.
Yeah,
It's like they're speaking different languages.
exactly. And that's where Gen AI comes in.
Okay.
It's like a universal translator.
I like that.
Can understand those natural language requirements and user stories.
Like the documents that business teams use to describe what they need.
Exactly. And then it translates those into test scenarios.
So it's making sure that everyone is on the same page from day one.
Yeah, from the very beginning.
That's got to save a ton of time and headaches.
Oh, yeah. Think about all those dreaded rework cycles that happen when the software doesn't quite match what the business team had in mind.
Ugh. Yeah.
Gen AI helps prevent those costly do-overs.
So it's like having a built-in interpreter.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly efficient. Less waste, smoother workflows. But what happens to the human testers in all of this? Are they suddenly out of a job?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
The article addresses this head-on,
Okay.
and it seems like Gen AI is definitely shaking things up, but it's more likely that the role of human testers will evolve rather than disappear.
Okay, so what does that evolution look like? What skills will testers need
Yeah.
to thrive in this Gen AI-powered world?
Think more strategic, less tactical. Testers will need to become the masterminds behind the testing strategy, guiding the AI, and designing those really complex, out-of-the-box test scenarios that still require human intuition
Right.
and creativity.
Yeah, because you can't program everything, right?
Exactly. And get this, the article actually mentions a rising demand for testers with AI and machine learning skills.
Yeah.
It's like the testing world is merging with the AI world.
So it's not about replacing humans. It's about humans and AI working together,
Yeah.
each playing to their strengths, kind of like a dynamic duo.
Absolutely. It's all about maximizing efficiency and building better software. Gen AI can handle the heavy lifting, the repetitive tasks, and free up humans to focus on the big picture stuff.
So it's like they're getting promoted to the strategic thinking level.
Yeah, exactly.
This is all super fascinating, but I'm also a little curious about the cost of all this. I mean, these Gen AI tools and systems, they can't be cheap, right?
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah. While Gen AI has the potential to save money in the long run, fewer bugs, less rework, there's definitely an upfront investment involved.
Right.
It's a classic cost-benefit analysis that companies will need to weigh carefully.
Makes sense. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about Gen AI, streamlining testing, catching those pesky bugs, and even helping business and tech teams get on the same page. What would you say is the biggest takeaway for our listeners so far?
I think the key takeaway is that Gen AI is already changing how we build and test software. It's about efficiency, accuracy, and building a bridge between human vision and technical execution. But as with any powerful technology, there are costs to consider and strategic decisions to be made.
This has been a truly insightful look into how Gen AI is revolutionizing software testing. But I have a feeling there's even more to uncover.
You're absolutely right. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll get into some real-world examples of how Gen AI is being used in testing today and what this all means for the future of software development. So, one thing that really stood out to me in the article was how Gen AI is enabling this shift-left approach in software development.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit before.
It's not just about testing earlier, it's about making testing, like a core part of the whole development process.
Right, baking it into the DNA.
Exactly, yeah.
But how does that actually work in practice? Can you give us an example?
Sure. So imagine a team is building a brand new e-commerce platform.
Okay.
Think of all those complex user flows, like adding things to your cart, checking out, managing payments, all that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
Traditionally, they'd wait until like a huge chunk of the platform was built before they even started testing.
Oh, wow, that sounds risky.
Yeah, what if a core feature isn't working? They'd have to go back and rework a ton of stuff.
Yeah, that's a nightmare.
But with Gen AI, they could start generating test cases for these flows right away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, based on those initial requirements and user stories we talked about earlier.
So they're getting a head start on finding potential issues.
Exactly. Before they become major roadblocks.
That's so smart.
It's like a continuous feedback loop. Testing is happening alongside development, not just at the end.
Gotcha. So it's way more efficient.
Yeah, much more efficient.
Yeah?
And here's the cool part. Gen AI is adaptive. So as the development team is making changes, Gen AI can automatically update the test cases.
So it's like a testing system that evolves with the software.
Exactly. It keeps pace with all the changes.
It's almost like Gen AI is a partner to the development team, constantly providing insights
That's a great way to put it.
and helping keep things on track.
Yeah, that collaborative aspect is what's so exciting to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not just a tool, it's more like a co-pilot,
Okay,
working with the human testers and developers
I like that.
to make sure the quality is top-notch.
Okay, so we've talked about efficiency collaboration, but let's bring it back to the user experience for a sec. How does all this Gen AI stuff translate into better software for the people who are actually using it?
Now, that's the ultimate goal, right? I mean, think about all those annoying bugs and glitches we all run into.
Oh yeah, those are the worst.
Gen AI can help create software that's just more solid and enjoyable to use.
Okay, fewer crashes, fewer error messages, fewer moments of wanting to chuck my laptop out the window.
Exactly.
I can get behind that.
And remember, Gen AI isn't just about hunting down bugs. It can actually help optimize the performance of the software.
Really?
Yeah, by analyzing how users are interacting with it.
Oh, that's cool.
Imagine faster load, times smoother navigation, a more intuitive user interface.
Yeah, all those little things make a big difference.
Exactly, they all add up.
It's like Gen AI is acting as a user advocate,
I like that.
constantly pushing for improvements.
Yeah, making things better for the end user.
Okay, so we're talking about software that's not just functional, but actually delightful to use.
Exactly, that's the goal.
Okay, but what about security? I mean, if we're relying on Gen AI to test our software, how can we be sure that the AI itself is secure? What if it accidentally introduces new vulnerabilities?
That's a valid concern, for sure.
Something I've been thinking about.
Like any system, Gen AI can have vulnerabilities.
Right.
And we need to be super careful about security.
Okay.
We need to have really strong safeguards in place to protect these systems,
Yeah, like from hackers and stuff.
Exactly, yeah, from anyone with bad intentions. It's like building a fortress around the AI.
To keep it safe.
Exactly.
And it's not just about protecting the AI itself, it's about making sure the tests it generates are secure too.
Right.
We wouldn't want it to create holes in the very software it's supposed to be testing.
Right. That would defeat the whole purpose.
Yeah.
We need to test the tests, basically.
So double checking the AI's work.
Yeah, make sure it's not introducing any new risks. It's a multi-layered approach to security.
Gotcha. So a lot to consider on the security front.
For sure.
But it seems like the potential benefits of Gen AI are pretty huge.
Yeah, I think we're at a tipping point where AI is going to fundamentally change the software landscape.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the future. What trends should we be watching out for in the world of Gen AI and software testing? Where's all of this headed?
Well, one thing that's happening already is that Gen AI models are becoming way more sophisticated.
Yeah.
We're talking about models that can understand and generate complex code models that can learn from massive amounts of data models that can adapt on the fly
Wow.
to these really fast-changing development environments.
So basically, Gen AI is going to become even more ingrained in the software development process.
Exactly. And hopefully that leads to better software for all of us.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah, and I think we'll see more focus on, the implications of all this.
Like how Gen AI will impact jobs and the future of work.
Exactly. It's not just about the tech itself, but how we adapt and prepare for this new landscape.
Yeah, those are really important points. It's clear that Gen AI is a powerful force, and it's up to us to use it wisely and responsibly. Now, I know we've covered a lot already, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what this means for the future of software development as a whole.
That's a great question, and one that deserves a deep dive all its own. In the final part of this episode, we'll explore some key takeaways and discuss what all of this means for the future of software, from how it's built to how we use it every day.
Okay, so we've really taken a deep dive into the world of software testing and Gen AI.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey.
It's really changing the game.
Hmm.
As we wrap up this deep dive, what are some key takeaways our listeners should remember?
I think the biggest one is that Gen AI isn't just some, like far off thing.
Yeah.
It's happening now. It's already changing how we build and test software.
Yeah.
We've seen how it automates all those, those tedious test cases,
Yeah.
finds bugs like a bloodhound, and even helps bridge the gap between those business folks and the developers.
Yeah, it's really injecting this whole new level of intelligence and efficiency into the process.
Mm.
But it's not just about automation, right? We talk about how human testers are evolving too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
While Gen AI can handle a lot of that, repetitive work, the humans need to step up into more strategic roles.
Yeah.
It's like they're becoming the conductors of the orchestra,
Oh, wait.
guiding the AI, designing those complex test scenarios that still need that human touch.
So it's not humans versus AI.
No, not at all.
It's more like a partnership, a collaboration.
Exactly, each playing to their strengths.
And that's probably going to lead to some really cool new testing approaches.
Oh, yeah, I think so. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens.
We talk about cost and security, but what about the impact on software in general?
Yeah.
What kind of changes can users actually expect to see in their apps and programs?
That's a great question. Think about all those annoying bugs and glitches.
Don't remind me.
Hopefully those will become less and less common.
Okay, fingers crossed.
With Gen AI helping to create, more solid software,
Yeah.
it should just be a smoother, more reliable experience overall.
Okay, that's good.
But it goes beyond just fixing bugs.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Imagine software that actually learns from how you use it,
That's interesting.
personalizes your experience,
Okay.
maybe even anticipates your needs before you even realize them.
Now that sounds pretty futuristic.
Yeah, it's coming though.
Okay.
Gen AI can analyze how people use the software and then feed that data back to the development team.
Oh, wow.
So it's constantly getting smarter and more intuitive.
Software that's not just functional, but actually enjoyable to use.
Exactly, that's the goal.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening. We explored the power of Gen AI, its impact on testing, and even got a glimpse into the future of software. But I have a feeling this is just the beginning.
I agree. This is a field that's changing so fast, and it's going to be amazing to see what happens next.
Who knows what's just around the corner? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of Gen AI and software testing. And to our listeners, we want to hear from you. How do you think Gen AI will change the software you use every day? Let us know on social media, and let's keep this conversation going.